Maryland has some of the strictest gun laws in the nation. Gun control has become a very touchy subject over the past couple of years. Events that have sparked gun control talks include the Sandy Hook shooting and the theater shooting in Aurora, Colorado. Many people have different views on gun control. President Obama was quoted by saying that states with the most gun laws tend to have the fewest gun deaths. Republican candidate hopeful Carly Fiorina was quoted by saying that states with more stringent gun laws have the highest crime rates in the nation. What are your thoughts on gun control? Do you think they should be more strict or more relaxed laws? Should it be easier for citizens to lawfully buy weapons? I believe gun laws should be more relaxed in Maryland because the only people affected by the strict gun laws are the people who would have actually followed the law in the first place by going to a gun store, not the criminals who would have been buying the guns on the street. Your average citizen wanting to purchase a handgun may have to wait 30, 60, even 90 days in some cases to take a purchased handgun home. This is an inconvenience set by strict laws. Not all of the laws are bad though. I'd like to go over one Maryland gun law that I agree with, and that is the licensing process for handguns. Purchasing a handgun in Maryland is a long process. It includes 4 different forms, a background check, and a check of your mental health history. The first form is a federal firearms dealer license form. This form is you'll fill out at any gun shop in the country. The second application is an application for a regulated firearm. This step also includes the background check. Now your background check consists of 11 questions that are simple yes and no answers. The questions cover the applicant's age, your citizenship status, drug and alcohol use, mental health history, and criminal background check. Non-citizens must also provide an issued alien number. The part of the test that I don't agree with is the Maryland State Police Gun Safety Training Course. It consists of 4 hours of instruction time, which covers the state firearm laws, home firearm safety, handgun operation, and you must demonstrate that you can safely fire a handgun. These classes are taught by Maryland State Police approved instructors, and after completion you receive your certificate so you can go pick up your gun from your gun store. The second part that I don't agree with is the waiting period. There's a minimum 7-day waiting period before you can take your gun home. Depending on how many purchases are being processed at the time, the waiting period can be a lot longer. During this time, the Maryland State Police perform what is called ballistic fingerprinting. Now, this is when the gun is fired once and the bullet shell is examined and recorded to match the marks from the barrel of the gun. Each gun has its own unique marking or a fingerprint. While I do agree with most of the licensing steps involved in purchasing a handgun, it goes to show how time-consuming and frustrating it can be to purchase a handgun legally. But if a criminal wants or needs a gun, do you think he'll go through the process? Stricter laws do not necessarily mean less crime. Criminals are very resourceful and will always find a way around laws that do not benefit them. Criminals have been arrested with all sorts of different types of guns, from machine guns to grenades, even rocket launchers. These weapons are outlawed everywhere, but they are still able to get a hold of them. In Baltimore, for example, May of 2015 was the most violent month since August of 1972. There were over 43 shooting-related homicides in May. In August of 72, there were 45. From January 1st, 2015 to now, there have been 264 shooting-related homicides in Baltimore City. Now this is after all the new gun control laws have been put into place. This is a perfect example that criminals will get guns no matter what the law says. In contrast to Baltimore, Illinois has begun issuing concealed carry permits to its citizens. Since the same time last year, they have seen a 20% decrease in robberies in Chicago. Criminals have to take a second thought before deciding to mug someone or attempt to harm them because there's a chance that that person could be armed. Now that you have a better understanding of the process of legally purchasing a gun in Maryland, and have heard an example of how relaxed gun laws can have a positive effect on the crime rate, let's talk about how the stricter gun laws have had a negative economic effect on Maryland. Economic effects of stricter gun laws in Maryland have affected several different things, but none as big as the weapon manufacturing company Beretta leaving Maryland for Tennessee. The reason Beretta left Maryland was in 2013, Maryland banned over 45 different types of assault weapons. Beretta did not want to build guns in a state where they felt they were not welcome and they could not be sold to the people that were building them to enjoy and use. Beretta came to Accokeek, Maryland in 1970. When they came, the area was mostly rural farmland. Today, from the factory being there, the area's population has grown by over 40%. Homes have been built around the factory, and the median household income is over $123,000. By moving to Tennessee, Maryland lost 160 jobs because of this. This will without a doubt deter other weapon manufacturers from setting up shop in Maryland. Now that you have heard some examples of the negative effects of strict gun laws, how do you feel? Do you think Maryland is on the right path, or are lawmakers overstepping their boundaries? Economic issues to constitutional issues, gun control and its laws can affect many different aspects that you may not think of. Some laws need to be in place to act as a guideline and keep guns out of the hands of the mentally unstable and convicted criminals. But who's to say when enough is enough? I do not believe the government should be involved in gun control as they are, but they are, and only you as a voter can change the way things are going.